Hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us from around the world. This is the webinar that's about how digital nomads can work from Malta as part of this Valletta Tech Summit. And I'm going to leave a few seconds. I'm going to wait about a minute so that everybody can join us. And then we can actually start the session itself and learn all about the advantages of being a digital nomad in Malta with our two main speakers. So do join us, spread the word. My name is Colin. I'm the host of this session, and we'll be starting in less than a minute. Just giving everybody time to tune in. We probably won't have time to answer questions, but if you do have anything, a question that is not being answered in our conversation, which I'm sure it probably will be because all the details are available, and Carl and Daniel will be answering pretty much all the frequently asked questions. But any question that you submit will be answered in the future, in the near future, by the experts who are following this session. So I'll just give a few more seconds until everybody has logged on. I think we can start. I think it's time to start. So good afternoon, everyone. It's afternoon in Malta. It's actually nearly 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Beautiful sunny spring day. And welcome. My name is Colin Fitz. I'll be moderating this webinar, which is called How Digital Nomads Can Work from Malta. And I am joined here today by Charles Mitzi, the Chief Executive Officer of Residency Malta Agency, which is the agency managing the Nomad Residence Permit. Hello, Charles. Hello there. And also we have Daniel Gobel, who is the founder of the Malta Digital Nomad Association. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Great. So before I put some questions to Charles and Daniel, I'll tell you a few more things. Today, we are taking part in the Valletta Tech Summit, which is discussing the Internet of Things. So this is a great platform for Residency Malta to promote the possibility there is now for non-EU digital nomads to work from Malta among this audience that's interested in the innovations happening in technology. Because who best fits the bill of the digital nomad and remote worker more than those passionate about the possibilities and freedoms the internet is giving us? As an intro, we're going to share with you, the viewers, a quick short video which gives a background to Malta's Nomad Residence Permit. So what I'm going to do is share the screen, and you will be able to see the video and hear it too. So I'm going to start it now. It's not very long, and then we'll start our conversation.
The way the world works is changing. Today, there are over 4.3 million digital nomads across the globe, working in whichever country they like, online. It's a lifestyle that allows you to explore incredible places, socialize with people from around the world, and delve into fascinating new cultures. And there's one place that has it all: Malta. This Mediterranean island boasts the EU's fastest growing economy, nationwide 5G, and counts English as an official language. It's a country deeply rooted in history, yet is at the forefront of modernity. It's a place for those with a taste for adventure. With over 300 days a year of glorious sunshine and more memorable nights in between. It's time to make the most out of the nomad lifestyle. This is Malta. Welcome to your new workplace.
Well, that's quite self-explanatory, I think. So it's time to start our conversation with Charles and Daniel. Now, Charles Mitzi, CEO of the Residency Malta Agency. I'll start with you, and then Daniel Gobel, who is the founder of the Malta Digital Nomad Association, will also answer this question. Charles, what makes Malta stand out as a destination for remote workers and digital nomads?
First of all, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Colin, for the introduction. And I also would like to thank Tech2Tempi for the organization of this event and for giving us the opportunity to talk about the Nomad Residence Permit. I would say there are a number of factors why Malta stands out as a destination, as an ideal destination for remote workers. To start with, I think it's the fact that we have a large expat community. 1 in every 5 individuals in Malta is an expat, so they feel at home. Or the remote workers feel at home because they know that they can find sort of someone from their own country living in Malta already. The Nomads community has been here with us for quite a long time now. There are a lot of EU nationals who have been living in Malta for some time. What we did as Residency Malta agency is we extended this opportunity to third country nationals. So non-EU nationals can apply for a nomad residence permit to come to work and live in Malta and then enjoy the lifestyle that Malta has to offer. Another factor which is crucial is the fact that Malta is a bilingual nation. So it's easy to communicate because most of the Maltese speak in English, so it's very easy for them to communicate with the locals. As I said, the lifestyle Malta has to offer attracts these nomads. We are blessed to have 300 days of sunshine in Malta. We boast a lot about this fact, and I think it's obviously true. They can vouch for it. Connectivity is also good because we know that these people, they do apply for a nomad residence permit, which gives them the opportunity to live in Malta for 1 year. However, during that year, they do want to travel around. They do want to go back to see their family. So, but it's very easy to travel to Malta, and in 2 hours you can be in another European capital to stay there for a short holiday. Another thing that Nomads told us about and referred to when we spoke to them is the fact that Malta is very easy to travel around. So a bus ticket costs just €2, and it's very easy for them to go around Malta. The internal proximity is also another important factor. Another thing which maybe Tech2Tempi already made reference to it during this seminar is the fact that we have a very strong broadband infrastructure. We have around 400 free Wi-Fi hotspots around the island and a very strong 5G network. So practically, these individuals can take their laptop and go to the beach and work from there quite easily. The accommodation is also a strong point for us. Now we're seeing a lot of co-working, co-living hubs opening up. More entrepreneurs are investing in these facilities, and this is making the lives of the nomad residents very easy.
Thank you, Charles. So how about you, Daniel, from your perspective as a German who's been living in Malta for quite a long time? and you're also you've set up this association, the Malta Digital Nomad Association. What makes Malta stand out as a destination for remote workers and digital nomads?
Yeah, thank you first of all for this question and for having me. And I just want to say one thing to Charles. Actually, a bus ticket is 75 cents if you get the bus card. 75 cents, same goes for a ferry across the Mediterranean.
And,
so
and
this is
from October, it will be free to everyone.
And there's a cap of 20 euros. So it's basically a flat rate after 20 euros. Anyway, yes, I'm a German software developer. I was always working from home since I was 18. So I never went to an office, and I came to Malta 2016, and I just wanted to do the same. But of course, back then the world was a little bit different. And I found Malta actually as a super positive and free and open society. And I think this is why Malta stands out. And of course, Charles already mentioned we have super fast internet. I'm sitting here right now at home. I have 1 gigabit internet, which is fast enough for everything. And you're going to be able to have this everywhere. So minimum is 500 Mbits for the nerds here. And upload is also pretty fast. At the same time, Malta was just connected with another undersea cable right to France. So we are connected to Italy as well as to France now. And of course, plenty of co-working spaces. So I think I stopped counting. There are over a dozen of co-working spaces. 2016, there was 1. And also now we see basically people sitting everywhere with their laptops in coffee shops and just working. So this is something which you can really see. So you just need to speak to people. Hey, are you a remote worker? And you get in contact with them. So we see the real world effect here. Co-living spaces, of course, this takes some time, but I know that we have international investors as well as local investors who are looking into this because we like to live together, like in a nice community house. So we already have this, but we need more capacity, and this is being built. We see, for example, language schools attracting digital nomads to host them. And I think the big bonus, what Malta has, are thousands of IT workers who are already working here since 10 years because Malta has this iGaming industry. And we figured out actually the values and the demography are 80% the same. So people between the age of 25 to 45, of course, there is no limit to age, but this is the biggest group. They are already here and we can tap into this. And they are also starting to work remotely. Doing so, we have pretty strong meetups here. So we had a Nomad meetup with 160 people coming in one of the smallest countries in the world. I think this is quite significant. And yeah, it also brings brain power to Malta. I mean, I know the stories of digital nomads who are relocating from the US. They find a nice house here with sea view, and they start to open temporary art galleries. I saw this. And so nomads care really about the culture and also giving something back. Yes, and I think what I like the most is this Malta effect. It means everyone knows everyone. And if you want if you're looking for business opportunities and just to network, it's incredibly easy. Because here you don't have those layers of society where you're not allowed to speak to someone who is a CEO. We have this feeling, as experts, that it's pretty easy to network here. And yeah, so I think this is what makes Malta so special. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Daniel. I like the expression, the Malta effect. It's this networking and conversation, and somebody, even if they don't know each other, somebody will always know somebody who knows somebody who can put you in touch for something that you need or something that you want to discuss. So
Yeah.
the Malta effect, that's fantastic. Let's go back to you, Charles. Charles, with the introduction of this Nomad Residence Permit, specifically tailor-made for our audience watching today, who should consider applying for this Nomad Residence Permit?
So, as I said, it's open for third country nationals, so people coming from countries outside the EU. They have to have minimum monthly income of 2,700 euros per month, of course. They can either be employed within an organization registered outside of Malta or self-employed or even freelancers. It's not limited to any specialized job, so we attract people and applicants from various sectors. And what we found interesting also lately, that we are attracting also a lot of family units. So nowadays we have people with young children applying for the Nomad residence permit as well. To give you a bit of an indication, so from a study we've done, the average age of applicants is 37 years old. They earn around 60,000 euros per annum, mostly come from the US and the UK. However, obviously we have people from a wide spectrum of different countries, different nationalities, and mostly they work in marketing and IT. So as you can see, we're attracting high quality applicants.
And what are the main steps that need to be taken when one applies for this residency permit, this specific residency permit?
The process is quite simple. It starts by sending us an email on nomad.residencymalta.gov.mt, and thereon our customer care team will get in touch and guide the applicants on the process. They need to submit a number of documents, of course, everything online. Response is quite immediate. We conduct basic due diligence checks on the individuals, obviously, to make sure that the information we get is correct. And thereon, we analyze the application and give a reply. We commit ourselves to give a decision within 30 days from application. However, usually we give a reply within 15 to 20 days.
Excellent. So they send an email to nomad.residencymalta@gov.mt, nomad.residencymalta@gov.mt. There's the website as well. That also includes that video we watched at the beginning of this session, which contains all the information, including a very good frequently asked questions page that can answer most questions. Anybody asking questions during the session, they will be answered as well in the near future by somebody from your organization, from your agency, Charles. So if we don't manage to answer any questions, they will be answered in due course via an email. But now it's time to go back to Daniel. And I'd like to ask you, Daniel, from your experience with digital nomads, how is the nomad community life in Malta?
Mm-hmm. It's a good question. I think there is a lot of substance. So you always need to separate, you have an online community. So the conversation is going on online as well as offline. And I think where Malta stands out is actually the offline community. I can just give you like an insight into my daily life. So I always go in the morning to a coffee shop here in order to answer WhatsApp messages and do the communication. And then you already bump into people because they also happen to go to the same coffee shop. And because Malta is not too big, I think everything is pretty centralized. Everything is scattered around the city of Slima, Valletta, as well as the three cities. And everyone can find a neighborhood which suits their needs. You can live in a more urban setup or even more nature, but still we can all meet in Valletta, and this is happening. And I personally think that Malta is the ideal remote work location in Europe. Of course, there are more affordable places like Portugal, but I also see it like a menu. So Malta is attracting a certain group of people. So people who are focused on tech, on fintech, and kind of this is a filter which people are going to Malta. So I think we should also not think about competing with Bali or Portugal, because nomads, they stay here for maybe 5 months and maybe then they go 1 month to Portugal. So yeah. And I mean, it's all about the stories which we can tell. What is happening when people meet? One of our first paying co-working customers from 2016, so since a long time, she started now a business with one of our most recent co-living customers from this year. So there are 5 years in between, but of course they meet during our meetups, which we will do every 2 weeks. And there are also others starting to do meetups. And I think there's a lot of substance and it's changing also people's lives. So people fall in love with each other. This is happening. They start businesses. They travel the world. So I still have people traveling the world in Egypt and they met here in Malta. And this is what unites them. And after 5 years, they still text, oh, we really want to come back to Malta because there was something special what happened. Yeah.
This association that you started, tell us some of the nationalities that are in it.
Mm-hmm. So I would say the majority of the people, of course, still comes from the European Union. Before COVID, it was 50-50. So we had 50% European remote workers. A lot of them were Polish, German, French, and 50% were American. But of course, because of COVID, this number went down, but we see this now going back up. So it's still mainly American dominated. After this, a lot of Germans, because what we see is that other countries are starting to implement laws that people are kind of forced to work from home. I think this was announced yesterday, that Germans, they need to work 3 days from home now. And of course, this also plays in our cards that those nationalities then, after some time abroad in their home country, and they say, why not move to Malta for 6 months? Or a year. And this is what is happening. So of course you have this digital nomad movement, but I think the big move will come from ordinary people who out of a sudden don't need to go to an office anymore and they turn nomads. Yeah.
Can you tell us 1 or 2 words about our sister island? Malta is the main island. Then there is Gozo, which is a bit slower and a bit more countryside, but it's also attractive to certain digital nomads. Is this correct?
Yeah, since a long time. So I can tell you one story. So this was in 2017. I already met a nomad and he was back then just living on Bitcoin. And Gozo is a place where also the houses are bigger. They are even more affordable, I have to say. There is a lot of nature and nomads who are into the holistic lifestyle, into health, into yoga, they are moving there.
It's a slightly more magical place as well, you know.
Definitely, it's different, but still at the same time really well connected, because I think we have 3 different ferries connecting the 2 islands. So within 45 minutes, you can go from Gozo and come to our Nomad meetup, travel in a fast ferry with public Wi-Fi and everything. So yeah, why not live there? And I see a lot of people going there.
Exactly. Anybody researching Malta needs to look also at our other island, Gozo, because there might be opportunities there as well. We have about 6 minutes, 7 minutes to go. So let's start to think about concluding. And I'll ask Charles Mitzi, who is the CEO of the Residency Malta Agency, the agency managing the Nomad Residence Permit. Charles, your concluding remarks, your last message to the people who are watching this event?
I would like to start by answering a question which has been put on the chat by Shafiq. Basically, he's asking whether nomads can eventually set up business in Malta. I would say that is one of the objectives why we've launched this program. We want talent to come to our island. We want them to come experience our lifestyle, and we hope that eventually they will remain here. So they will have the opportunity to renew their permit for up to 3 years. We hope that by that time they fall in love with our country, as Daniel did, and eventually they decide to possibly remain here, maybe take up an employment in our country or open their own business in Malta. Obviously, they would need to apply for a different permit, but that is one of the objectives why we've launched this program, to attract new talent and possibly retain that same talent here. To be honest, I don't have much more to say. I always love to hear Daniel talking about Malta and about the program. We've been working with Daniel and his colleagues for quite some time. We brainstormed a lot about the program when we're about to launch it. He shared a lot of nice experiences with us, and they helped us to come up with this program, which is doing very well, and we hope that in the future we'll continue and sustain the success we've had so far, and possibly attract more and more people to nomad residence workers to our island.
Thank you, Charles. What about you, Daniel? Perhaps some concluding remarks from you?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, first of all, thank you for moderating this panel. And I think Malta, as I said, is an incredible positive place. It's changing really fast. So, for example, we see e-mobility now everywhere. We have electric taxis, so on and so forth. We have vegan food restaurants popping up everywhere. And I also think the lines between what is a digital nomad, because they are the pioneers, and what is a remote worker who is just maybe living in a co-living space for 6 months instead of going to holiday. And all of this is fading in the next years. And I think Malta has a huge potential to play an important role in there, because Malta was always kind of the gateway between North and also Africa and the East and the West. It's somewhere in between, right in the middle of the Mediterranean. And I always like to tell one nice story. Malta hosted nights for hundreds of years in huge fortifications, which are still existing, and they have a lot of history attached to it.
Nights from many different countries, all living here. Yes.
Actually, there's still one night living in my neighborhood. I go there every morning to have a coffee. And I think digital nomads, they could be kind of the digital knights of the future, because we want more from life. Yeah. One short example is that we started kind of an NGO to help elderly during the start of COVID. So because then nomads were no longer able to travel, but we had a community here in Malta. We just flipped and we set up a community where nomads helped elderly. And yeah, so we are kind of the digital knights of the future, and Malta is hosting us. This is a nice story. I like Malta because it's positive, it's progressive, and it can be really agile. So from writing a letter to the Prime Minister that maybe a nomad visa should be a good idea to the implementation, I think it took like 90 days or like 3 or 4 months. So that's why Malta is so special. Other countries can also offer nomad visas, but this takes time. Yeah.
Great. So thank you very much for those positive words. Daniel Gobel there, who is the founder of the Malta Digital Nomad Association. And also Charles Mitzi, the Chief Executive Officer of the Residency Malta Agency. Thank you very much for your comments as well. The people who are watching, for more information, the website is nomad.residencymalta.gov.mt, nomad.residencymalta.gov.mt, and you can even get in touch with Charles there and his staff for more information. That is correct, right, Charles? I said that well. My name is Colin Fitz, and it's been a pleasure to host this webinar. and to learn so much about this new opportunity for people from around the world to come and live and work in Malta. And I look forward to more of the same, and to meeting maybe some of you when you come to work and live here in the future. So I think we can conclude here. Thank you very much. And Saha, that means good health from Malta.
Grazie, Afna. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.